Breakups are a common part of human life. A recent study has been done and it says that 64% of people in a relationship have broken up in a long-term relationship. 70% of these people have also broken up within a year. There are also people, 60% of them, that have broken up, who have broken up and have gotten back together. And there are also 70% of women in the US who, after they have asked for a divorce themselves. This information might be interesting to some of you, and it might even hold some importance, but it doesn't have any specific context or meaning attached to it. Now, let me tell you this. In 2010, Marina Abramovic was getting ready for her 6-hour-long performance, where she would sit in front of strangers, wouldn't talk, and would just look at them. She evoked various emotions from these people. Some laughed, smiled, others cried, overwhelmed with emotions from her eyes. And when Marina was once again getting ready to reopen her eyes to who she thought was going to be another stranger, she saw her past love, Ule. The moments flashed right past her as she saw her past love and remembered all the memories they shared together. These famed artists who risked everything for their love for experiments for each other had immense trust. There was one experiment where Marina and Ule held a bow and arrow. One held one side of the bow and the other. And if one of them let go, the other would get impaled by the arrow. There was even a moment where Ule almost let go of his side, and Marina noticed this, and she loosened her grip so that he could regain his strength. However, even this beautiful love story had to come to an end. But they decided to make their love story as memorable as their ending. So, they called their final end experiment the Walk of the Lovers. The Walk of the Lovers was supposed to mark the start of their marriage. However, it ended up marking their end of a mutual life chapter. So when they met at the meeting point of the Great Wall, they kissed and hugged for a while until they both knew it was time to say goodbye. All of this came back in a matter of seconds, and they remembered their whole past, and Marina broke her rule, and she reached out to Ule. They held hands for a little bit until they both knew it was time to say goodbye, and Marina was left to regain her composure. You have listened to both of my stories, but was one as impactful as the other? Do they hold the same emotional power that overcomes you? Which one made you feel something? The context of what I'm saying is absolutely important, but the way I deliver it to you adds extra meaning to it and has more emotional power. Of course, information and statistics which are put into basic quantities might show us something, but they do not carry this emotional weight or do not arise interest or emotional attachment within us. Some of you might disagree with me, but I believe telling an individual story is farther thought-provoking and holds a bigger emotional weight for us. People love stories. They are moved by them. This is why they try to find themselves in other people's stories, to share their emotions with them, to feel their pain. And now, us as the storyteller and the audience, we are currently building a connection, a relationship, if you might say. And through these shared emotions, we gain sympathy, empathy, trust, understanding, and most importantly, communication. Even if one of you or some of you are not directly related to me, we might still share some common life story. Storytelling holds an immense power because through storytelling, you can persuade so many people and change their ideas and perspectives. Leading is a big part which requires communication because through communication, you earn understanding and trust. And when you are a leader, you must help the people you are leading to move forward, since the job of a leader is to get us from where we are to where we want to be. Look at famous speeches of these kind of leaders like Martin Luther King Jr. He speaks of the injustice of Black Americans, and he says, "Let's follow my dream. My dream is that one day on the red hills of Georgia, the sons of slave owners and the sons of slaves will sit together at the table of brotherhood." He paints a picture in your head by sharing his emotion with you, his pain with you. And by this, he inspired many individuals to go and follow the civil rights movement, to join, to take action. This is what a leader does when they inspire people. For example, Steve Jobs, in 2007, when he was launching the first iPhone, he spoke of different devices that he had already created, like a touchscreen iPod or internet communicator device. And he said that all of these devices together would be mixed and would create an iPhone. And therefore, many people took action. They went and bought an iPhone because they wanted to be creative, artistic. They wanted to stay connected. And they didn't do this because Steve Jobs sucked of megahertz and gigahertz. No, because they imagined being creative and artistic and staying connected with their family and friends. This, again, is what a leader does. But these are just figures that we see from afar, and we might have some relationship with them or connection with them, but they still aren't so familiar to us. So for you to understand what I'm trying to say better, let me tell you something of my own. A long time ago, my teacher introduced her inspiring story to our class. And that not only inspired our whole class, but me especially. And I wanted to put it into words, so I started writing and writing and writing some more until I realized my true passion for writing. And in the end, I made a book of the collection of the short stories and poems. The sole base of my book started because a single story inspired me. Can you see the power storytelling holds? Over 2,400 years ago, the Greek philosopher Plato said, "Those who tell stories rule society." Storytelling is truly like a superpower for us because it holds the power to persuade you to believe in something new, to believe in new ideas. And I say, if you want to be heard, understood, and most importantly, remembered, as a leader or as a person, I say deliver your message through a story. I have shown you how I told my story, but now it's your turn. Tell me a story. Thank you.